Hey everybody, this is Dr. Davila here, and in this video I want to discuss the relationship between coronavirus, otherwise known as COVID-19, the antihypertensive drugs known as ACE inhibitors, and vitamin D. Now, one of the things that we know at this time about COVID-19 is that it actually gets into our bodies, it enters our cells by attaching itself to a receptor known as ACE2. Now, the problem is when you are taking ACE inhibitors for hypertension management, those drugs work by attaching themselves to that same receptor. And Dr. Anthony Fauci, the director of the NIH, said in an interview that if you are taking an ACE inhibitor drug to manage your hypertension, unfortunately, one of the potential side effects of that is that it actually causes your body to generate more ACE receptors on its cells. So what does that mean? It means that if you are taking a drug, an ACE inhibitor, to manage your hypertension medically, you are potentially increasing the number of receptors that your cells have for the COVID-19 virus, the coronavirus. Now, that's really problematic in a society like Italy, for example, where Dr. Fauci said that about 99% of the people who developed coronavirus in Italy had comorbidities. And about 75% of those, for about 75% of those people, the comorbidity was hypertension, high blood pressure. So when you have a society where high blood pressure is prevalent, and you have a lot of people being medically managed for that by taking ACE inhibitors, well, what you found yourself is with a society that is potentially at higher risk of developing coronavirus because their cells have more receptors for it. Now, how does vitamin D play into this? Well, vitamin D plays into this because we also know that when you have a low level of vitamin D, you are insufficient in vitamin D, well, you are more likely to develop high blood pressure. And the problem is if you don't have vitamin D sufficiency, you're going to maintain that high blood pressure until that issue is addressed. Now, yes, high blood pressure is affected by many different factors, including things like posture, just the way you're standing, the way you sit, the way you eat, all those different kinds of things. We're focusing on that vitamin D. If you don't have and you don't develop sufficient levels of vitamin D, you're more likely to develop high blood pressure. But if you address that issue, it will help to bring that back into balance for you. That's one risk factor that you can help mitigate through a very non-invasive supplement if it's necessary for you. Now, we also know that vitamin D is great for helping the body to overcome a lot of acute respiratory illnesses, things like the flu, tuberculosis, and yes, it may even be beneficial for helping people with things like COVID-19, coronavirus. So I think it's very important that people be made aware of these issues. Number one, you have to know that if you are being medically managed for a condition like hypertension and you're taking a medication to manage it, well, that issue is not going to resolve itself until you address lifestyle factors like vitamin D insufficiency as an example. Until you address those lifestyle factors, you're going to continue to have that problem of hypertension. And now we see with coronavirus, COVID-19 going around, hypertension is a serious risk factor for you developing that illness, a serious risk factor for you having a severe course of that illness, and it severely impacts your potential of surviving that illness if you were to contract it. But again, the good news is if you manage your vitamin D levels, that is one risk factor that you can pay attention to and manage for yourself to lower your risk of infection, not only from COVID-19, but from all infections, really, because of how important it is for your immune system's function. Now, how do you manage that? Well, the next time you go to your doctor and you get your blood work done, make sure they're checking your vitamin D status. And if it's low, you want to make sure you're getting on a supplement or getting yourself adequate sunshine to help get that up for you and maintain a healthy level. Now, what is a healthy level? Most research will tell you that you want to be in the range of 50 nanograms per milliliter or higher to be considered sufficient. And it's very important that you optimize that as much as possible. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions or comments about what I've said here, please let me know. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Have a great day and take care of yourself.